Welcome back, book reader friends. I am Christy with Tatted Hat Girl Reads, and I am so excited to be back. I'm a little nervous, so if this video is a little off, understand that it has been a long time, and I have missed you greatly. I have had a lot of family trauma that has happened in a very condensed time frame, and so I had to go ahead and give myself some grace to take some time away. And then we have moved from North Carolina to Texas. We lived there for about 1.5 years in Texas, and now we're back in South Carolina. So we're back in the Carolinas. South Carolina's new to us, but we're in the Carolinas. So we had a huge move, 2 of them within 1.5 years. And I'll be honest with you, I needed some rest, so I took it. All right, but let's go ahead and let's start this year out with a book video on my TBR for 2026, but it's because of the book haul that I did so far this year. We know I'm not done. You're not done either. So let's forgive each other. We're the only ones that are going to. So let's just go ahead and dive in and let me show you the books that I have picked up for this year, and we'll talk briefly about them. Let's see. I'm not going to ever pretend that I don't use my computer, because I do, especially when there's a lot of information. I don't want to tell you something wrong, so the notes are very important to me. I have 4 series that I have picked up and started, and then there'll be 5 standalones. I'm lying. So we're going to have a few to go over. We're not going to go into any kind of major detail about these books. It's just kind of expose you of what my TBR is. Also, I have a new kitten. I actually have 2 new kittens. So you might see one of them running around because I've shut my library door. And she's right now playing with one of my bookmarks. So I may have to actually grab her from there. But she's playing, and she's a good girl. But man, her claws, y'all. I wanted a boy cat because I missed some of that energy that I had from one of the strays that I had to leave in Texas. And I ended up with his sister too, and she has some serious claws. She's not really wanting to feel like being picked up today, but I'll pick her up real fast. Isn't she the cutest? Go ahead, go play. She's feeling quite rambunctious today. But back to the books. So the first series that I am actually currently reading, so we're going to start this year off right, to truly get into the books that I'm buying. I do have a lot of TBR actually sitting on my shelves, but these are from the book haul that I just did here in South Carolina and North Carolina between the Barnes & Nobles. And I have started Empire of Silence. Absolutely am loving it. I am a fantasy fiction book reader and a suspense reader, but I'll be honest with you, fantasy is getting kind of cookie cutter for me, so I need a break. And after Red Rising, I said, you know what, maybe, just maybe, sci-fi is where it's at for me for a while. And this is holding true to that. So I am thankful and happy that I have found this series. I've got book 1, 4, 6, and 7. So I'm waiting for book 3 and 5. They'll be here sometime today. I don't know if I can pick up the whole series because she's walking under my arm right now. And well, these are sizable books, you guys. I should have made room to my left side so I could have somewhere to put these. I'm really freaking excited. The only problem I have with this one is my cover came in bent, so I can't really get it in there. If I lose my notes, it's because she typed me new ones. My goodness, disquiet gods. I'm getting ready to end up on book 2, actually. Book 1 has been so good that I'm flying through it. But I'm also, while I have the kittens, this is book 7. That is a bit big. That is a beast. But I forgot what I was going to say. She threw me off. I am very excited about these. Empire of Silence has been fantastic. While I have the kittens just running around, they seem like they need some attention, a little bit more than my bigger girls. My bigger girls are like, we think about 5, 6 years old, and the other one's about 8. My 13-year-old passed away last year, so I have to fill my house up with more cats, and these 2 are keeping me busy. So I am audiobooking this one along with reading it, but I don't know if it's because of the kittens or the weather. I don't know, but I'm exhausted. So what's happened is I'm opening my Kindle and I'm passing out. I'll read for a little while, and then I pass out like mid-sentence, and I wake up, keep up with that like word that I last read, and then I'll fall right back asleep. I might even accidentally switch my Kindle page. It is kind of sad. So I have switched over to audiobook. I do not want to audiobook this series. Not that it's not great. In fact, if you've read the series, I highly recommend the audiobooks. They have been fantastic. Or maybe you're scared of getting into something so daunting by reading it. The audiobooks are fantastic. I will say, audiobooks sometimes, unless you speed them up, do take longer than you actually reading the book, which is one of the reasons why I count audiobooks in my reading. It's one of many reasons, but that's one of them. Because, I spend more time listening to a book a lot of the times than if I just laid down and read it. What are you doing? All right, let's see. The Sun Eater series, I forgot to mention, is a 7-book series. I did want to mention that. One thing you're going to notice about my books, this book haul, I went on an Adrian Tchaikovsky run, and I am enunciating that very carefully because I don't want to botch his name. But yeah, after this, it's mostly his books. She's feeling kind of rambunctious now. Have you ever noticed, like if you work from home, have you ever noticed like your camera comes on and your cats know and they're just there? She's sitting on this book stack right now looking out the window, so she might be good for a minute. So I'm gonna keep going. City of Last Chances. This is the Tyrant Philosophers series. It's a 4-book series. 4th book is coming out March 10th. And technically it has a 5th book that pertains to this world, but the 5th book is kind of a standalone. You don't have to read it with the others or in a particular order. So speaking of that book, that 5th book in this book came out, I don't know if it came out in hardback or, well, it had to have come out in hardback first. So hardback, because paperback comes out October 10th of this year. This is the one that Barnes & Nobles has. But you notice I have all paperbacks of the series. So I am probably going to come back to this one in paperback. I might give this one away or donate it or something. Book 4 that comes out March 10th, that one is going to be hardback. So I'm going to have to wait, which is okay. I don't think I'm going to have these 3 read by March anyway. So I've got time to wait for the paperback to come out. I really do see that this is going to be a situation between this and the Sun Eater series that I am probably not, I'm probably going to be okay on book 4. Again, paperback comes out October 10th. So if you already have the paperback books and you want to keep on with that, go ahead, do that. When I bought it, I wasn't thinking actually. And then book 4 is going to be hardback. We know that typically about 6 months later is when the paperbacks come out. So I will be waiting. All right. The next series, Shadows of the App. I hope that's right, APT for app. But I need books 2 through 10. But because I did book haul so many series, I went ahead and just got book 1 because my husband wanted this one. So I went ahead and got it for us. He didn't realize until today that it is a 10-book series, which means I didn't realize it was a 10-book series. So, oh my Jesus, this year is going to be busy. But again, it's an Adrian Tchaikovsky book. I'm excited for it because when I picked up one of these other books that are in the standalone stack, I became just a lover of his writing. So I'm going to get on this one soon. 10-book series. Excited for it. I noticed that he is kind of like T. Kingfisher. He genre bends, he bounces genres a little bit. He's got a little fantasy, a little sci-fi. And I'm loving that because it's a nice change of pace from one book to the next. It's not cookie cutter from every book that he writes. And I actually enjoy that. I think she's ready to go to sleep. This is not the time. Okay, so the next one. This one is a Frank, I think it's Grasby or is it Gatsby? I may have a typo on that one. So I'll have to check that before I write the description in the bottom. But it's Denzil Meyrick. I have only book 1. It is a 3-book series. Book 2 comes out October 6th. Book 3 comes out November 4th of 2027. Book 2 is 2026. Book 3 is 2027. But I picked it up because I was at Barnes & Nobles. And in their cafe, they run $5 books. I think it's per month. So just like this whole book would be there the entire month until they run out of stock. And I was there. It was $5. I was like, you know what? It's cute. It's short. Like the words are very big. The font is on your side. The margins are on your side for a fast read. And it's a little over 400 pages, like 401. It's really going to be a fast read. And it looks like it's a Christmas style because that one is Murder at Holly House. Book 2 is going to be called Christmas Stocking Murders. I don't have a cover for book 3 yet, but I have a feeling it's going to keep true to the Christmas theme as well. All right, on to the standalones now. So the standalones, again, many of these are Adrian Tchaikovsky because I've just fell in love with his writing and there's so many. I'm loving that. So I don't know if you can tell it, but this bookshelf here is kind of empty. So I get to take these and kind of move some stuff around and kind of relax the shelves a little bit until I go through another book haul. But then I'll be able to fit these in there. These might fill it back up. I don't know. We are talking about doing one more shelf, but then I will be done. The first standalone, Guns of the Dawn. Okay, this one first came from Elliot Brooks as a recommendation. She showed a different cover. I think it's the Kindle version if you're on if you're on Amazon, but it might be the hardback that has the cover that she showed. I have this one. and I'm looking forward to it just because it looks kind of dope. And it's, again, another author that continuously, he's very consistent. Large words, large font, and the margins are on your side. This might be a big book, so almost 700 pages, but I think it's going to fly. I really do. And it's a standalone. So, you can put that in somewhere when you need a break from a series, like I might need this year. I'm very excited about this. This book is little, and in comparison, this book is less than 300 pages, and it's Spider Light by Adrian Tchaikovsky. And again, the cover looks cool. I was playing on Amazon when I was looking up the information for this video, and the hardback cover looks kind of dope too, but I'm really excited about this. Well, I'm good with it. And John Scalzi has a little blurb on it. I will say I've only done one John Scalzi book, and it was like a fast 1 hour read, and it was very good, but it was anticlimactic. So I am curious about starting any of his books. If you have any suggestions about John Scalzi of where to start, put that down in the comments if you don't mind, like a title of his, and then to put John Scalzi so I'll know that's what we're talking about. But yeah, I am really curious about him. My husband loves him. And now that I've kind of shifted to sci-fi, my husband and I are actually reading even more similar books. And so we were able to buddy read a little more, which is kind of fun. The book that got me onto Adrian Tchaikovsky is Elder Race. I had a great time with this book. I didn't bookmark it a lot, or I didn't tag it a lot, but I did have a great time with this one. Somebody is trying to go to sleep next to my leg. So basically, your main character is trying to save her people. She's not taken very seriously because she doesn't normally do things that are in the interest of the people as a common practice, but also because the mother is just so against everything she's trying to do. What's interesting is that they name the daughters and by their position. So it's Lynn, I think it's first daughter. So it's very, very just, okay, that one's kind of, on the nose, but it is also a fast read. Again, sticking to his very similar big font, big margins. So it was a fast read, less than 300 pages. You can literally fit this in, especially towards the end of the year. It is sci-fi, so if you are wanting to dabble, it does have a little magic too. If you're in a fantasy reading world, then you can make the jump through this book pretty easily. I started my sci-fi. I'm going to say that it was Red Rising. There might have been something prior, but I'm going to say it was Red Rising that really was just like, oof, I can make a home here. And this book was just fun. I'm going to call it cozy. Shoot me. But I am going to call this one a cozy read. The next one, also by Adrian Tchaikovsky. Surprise, I know. Shroud. This one had a dope cover. Very dope cover, too. Also on hardback, I think it was. And it was kind of like, wish I could have gotten that one, but it was not Prime eligible. And it looks like maybe an afterthought printing, so to speak. But I'm going to check Bingo, I think it is. I'm going to check on that one and see if someone has the hard book back for sale, if I actually like this one. But for now, we're going to read this and be happy with it. Not a lot different here. It's another sci-fi book, I do believe. I don't think this one's fantasy. That has big font, big margins. It is less than 500 pages. It looks really good. Pure Tchaikovsky. I swear the man is some kind of genius. This was by Peter Waltz, author of Blind Sight. I'm really enthralled by that one and looking forward to starting that one too. And it's another standalone, so you can fit it in somewhere when you need a break. The next one, I have started The Blade Itself, that series, and I need to get on book 2 because everyone says book 1 is just kind of the setup and not really that big of a deal. I had an issue with it being from several perspectives and so many characters. However, the characters were fantastic. So I'm looking forward to getting on book 2. Everybody says go to book 2 because once you do, you're going to be in love with the series. Now, this one is a standalone. People say that you do not have to read The Blade Itself and the other 2 books to read this one, that you can read it on its own as well. So there's actually, I think, 2 others, Red Country and Best Served Cold. Again, another author that deals with large font, large margins, which I appreciate and love. Helps to go to the back of the book to see how many pages. Less than 550 pages. So another potential fast read. I was listening to The Blade Itself. I kind of messed myself up by doing that because I think so many names and characters were coming at me that I was missing who was who. I will probably finish this series in ebook, which means I am going to be a little slower. I use audiobook to push me along and keep me going when I don't have time to lay down or sit down and read a book. I just don't want to do myself any more of a disservice and create an issue where you know, I don't know who the characters are again. And then for one, I can't review it that way. And two, I don't really enjoy it. And it made me want to quit The Blade itself and the other two books. I was just like, I can just DNF this and be good. But so many people kept pushing me along that I finished it. And I'm glad I did. But I'm going to have to also watch a book review to read book 2 and book 3. I am looking forward to this one. But that is it, you guys. This was a book haul that I did through Asheville, North Carolina, and then a couple in Greenville, South Carolina visits to Barnes & Nobles. And I am really going to have a busy reading year, but that is my focus. So I hope you stick around. I'm so glad to see you, and happy reading. Till next time. Bye.